3 News at 6 starts right now.
Coming up, get those scrapers and snowblowers ready. Chief Meteorologist Betsy Kling is tracking the late week system that could bring us a white Christmas.
Travel troubles. What you need to know tonight if you're traveling for the Christmas holiday later this week.
Historic move. The January 6th committee recommends criminal charges for former President Trump. We'll tell you where things go from here and the Ohio lawmaker who was also named in today's hearing.
And mental health help. The holiday blues are real. We talk with a local doctor about them, and we'll tell you some of the ways you can beat them.
Live from WKYC Studios, this is 3 News at 6 with Russ Mitchell and Laura Queso.
Hey, good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Tonight, all eyes on the forecast for later this week as folks like you probably getting ready for the holiday time with family.
Chief Meteorologist Betsy Kling has been watching this all day long and is here now with the latest. Hi, Betsy.
Hi there, Russ and Laura. Yeah, we're really trying to keep things simple at this point because there's a lot of details that we just don't have yet. That will all start to come as we have very easy weather the next couple of days. Tuesday, Wednesday, no problem. Thursday, we get the rain. Friday is when the real beef gets here, okay? We have a flash freeze that is expected Friday morning as a cold front comes through. That cold plunge will mean big problems for a lot of different variations of impacts, not only on the roads, but also for your homes, and then also for power outages. So if you think about all the rainwater that we just got on Thursday, freezing very quickly, that's going to add weight on branches. Then you throw snow on top of that, that's even more weight. Now you throw in wind gusts 60, maybe even more than that, miles per hour, and we have the setup for a lot of power outages at the same time that the bitter cold is taking hold. So now you have no power and a cold house. So I think really power outages, cold and wind are our primary threats. We will be getting snow out of it, but we aren't going to get the big giant snow that they're going to get west of us. We're still looking at probably, I would say easily at this point, based on what I'm seeing now, over 6 inches of snow in the entire area. We could be looking at a foot of snow in the entire area. It's all dependent upon how this evolves. So the storm is expected to come through the plain states, and then by Friday morning, there's the cold air. So we're talking 6, 7 a.m. This cold front will be coming in like a hammer. And when I say like a hammer, it's going to hit hard, and we're going to have wind gusts to go with it. Look at this, 44 degrees at 4 a.m. By 7 a.m. it'll be 20. By 10 a.m. 13. This is a 30-degree temperature drop in just a matter of 3 hours or less. And then you throw the winds in on top of that, and you're talking wind chills down 20 to 25 below zero by the time we hit Friday night. This is going to be a big, impactful storm in Northeast Ohio. We're not getting 30 inches of snow out of it. Don't focus on the snow, friends. Please focus on the cold. Focus on the wind. We'll have more details on the rest of the week forecast and flesh out the other details coming up in a little bit.
All right, Betsy, see you soon. Thank you.
Millions of Americans are getting ready to hit the road and take to the skies as they travel to meet up with loved ones, of course, for the holidays. Now, this storm might make both of those things for some a bit difficult.
Lena Lai has advice on how you may want to adjust your plans now.
The air pumps are busy at local gas stations. The bitter cold, along with a winter storm brewing this week, has drivers making sure their tires are topped off.
As it gets colder, the tire pressure goes down.
AAA urging all drivers to do a winter checkup on their cars before heading out.
You want to have them check your battery, especially if it's 3 years or older. You want to have them check your tires, your windshield wiper blades, all your fluids to make sure your car is in excellent working condition.
But pay close attention to the timing when you plan to hit the road. ODOT is especially concerned about Thursday rain quickly transitioning to a hard freeze on Friday.
Because it's not really going to allow us to get out and pre-treat. We can't really get ahead of the storm and lay any of that pre-treatment down because it will simply wash right off. The other big concern of ours is the flash freeze. Everything that's wet has the ability to freeze very quickly.
If you're traveling by air, airlines like American are offering to waive some change fees if you want to avoid the storm. It's issued a Midwest travel alert. So if you're going to, through, or from cities like Chicago or Minneapolis on Wednesday through Friday, you can change your ticket to travel between now and December 30th without a change fee. And more good news, gas prices are continuing to fall. In fact, AAA released its gas report for Northeast Ohio just this afternoon, reporting a 15-cent drop per gallon compared to last week. And Laura, the cheapest that we spotted today in Elyria, $2.37 for regular unleaded.
$2.37. We haven't seen that in a long time.
Right.
Lena, thanks. Reporting live for us tonight. We appreciate it.
It was an historic day on Capitol Hill. Today, the House committee investigating the January 6th Capitol attack held its final public presentation. That included referring 4 criminal charges against former President Trump. It marks the first time in U.S. history that Congress has taken such action against a former president. Alice Barr with the latest from Washington.
Ms. Cheney.
Aye. In a move for the history books, a House committee today recommending criminal charges against former President Trump, accusing him of obstructing an official proceeding, conspiracy to defraud the government, conspiracy to make a false statement, and inciting or assisting an insurrection in the deadly January 6th Capitol attack.
The work of this committee will help provide a roadmap to justice.
The referrals to the Department of Justice hold no legal weight, but they represent the committee's final conclusions after an 18-month investigation. This video summarizing that work that included more than 1,200 interviews and sifting through hundreds of thousands of documents. It's the committee's last public presentation laying out their case that former President Trump sought to illegally overturn the results of the 2020 election and directed an angry mob of supporters to the Capitol.
For hours, he would not issue a public statement instructing his supporters to disperse.
The committee today referring members of Congress who defied subpoenas to the House Ethics Committee, also recommending charges against others in the Trump orbit. The Justice Department alone will decide whether to file any charges, but analysts believe referrals from a mostly partisan committee could complicate the process.
And it looks in some quarters like they're acting at the behest of the committee, even though I don't believe they would be.
Former President Trump, who's announced plans to run again in 2024, has long attacked the committee, calling its members, quote, corrupt cowards who hate our country. The committee insists its aim is to bring accountability, protect democracy, and ensure the peaceful transfer of power in future elections. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And it will now be up to the Department of Justice to decide whether it will pursue any prosecution based on the committee's referrals.
We are heading into the most wonderful time of the year, but for many of us, it's just been miserable with all the colds and flu floating around. Many are now wondering how long they may be contagious before they gather with the family next week. Here's senior health correspondent Monica Robbins.
Let's start with COVID-19. It's tricky because it depends on how much virus you have in your system and which variant infected you. The current theory is you're contagious a day before symptoms appear and at least 3 days after. Those who have a bad infection with a lot of coughing and upper respiratory symptoms are likely much more infectious. The CDC says those with moderate to severe symptoms should isolate for 10 days. Once your symptoms improve and there's no fever for 24 hours, you can end isolation but should still wear a mask through day 10. You can lose the mask if you have 2 negative tests 48 hours apart. If you have a mild case, consider yourself infectious 5 days from the start of symptoms or 5 days after a positive test. Keep in mind there is still a lot we just don't know. Experts advise masking around vulnerable people because it's better to be safe than sorry. And infectiousness for flu and other respiratory viruses, similar to COVID. You're spreading germs at least a day before symptoms and a few days after. If you have a fever, you may be infectious longer. A good rule to go by is if you have symptoms like cough or congestion, stay home and keep your germs to yourself.
And even though it takes about 2 weeks to build up antibodies, it's not too late to get your flu shot. Flu is going to be with us at least until spring, and COVID, of course, just isn't going away. Sorry.
So even if people are thinking, okay, I'm too late to get my flu shot, doesn't even matter by Christmas time, it's not. You can
No,
still...
it's not too late. Now, here's the caveat, though. If you are exposed to influenza between now and Christmas and you get your flu shot tonight or tomorrow, yeah, you can still get sick. You may not get as sick as you would if you were not vaccinated.
Okay.
That's what's important. And yes, the flu shot is not going to give you the flu, but there's dozens of other illnesses out there that the flu shot does not protect you from. So keep that in mind. It only protects you from flu.
News you can use, especially as the holidays are here. Yeah. Monica, thanks.
Sure.
And yes, the holiday season is certainly a time of giving. 3 News has teamed up with Community West Foundation and hosting this year's Socks Plus donation drive in Avon Lake and Fairview Park. In North Olmsted, there's also a familiar Christmas staple for families in need. Carmen Blackwell with more on Northeast Ohio's giving spirit.
This year's Socks Plus donation drive at Good Neighbors Thrift in Avon Lake brought in community givers by the dozen like Lucy.
Going out doing a little shopping, so I grabbed some socks and said I'll take them down and I can do a little more shopping.
The mission of the Socks Plus drive is in collecting essentials for the homeless across Northeast Ohio. And while many give with money or food, socks are the #1 requested donation item.
It's something we all take for granted. Everybody has socks, but when you're outside, you need 2, 3, 4 pairs of socks. And if they get wet, you're in real trouble. So socks are important, but we added the plus. Plus is hygiene kits, it's underwear, it's tents, it's all the things that you might need if you imagine you were living on the street.
A pair of socks and a giving heart.
Everyone is always so happy they can help in whatever way they can. They're just so grateful that we're here. It's busy. We're staying open late today, so we're open 2 extra hours till 7 o'clock, and it'll be busy.
Can go a long way.
It's like helping people and taking care of people, giving what I can give.
The spirit of giving also in North Olmsted, where Grandma's magical gingerbread house stands right off Columbia Road. A tiny little drop-off location the community is now using as a donation resource. Dozens of essential items and toys have been dropped off by those passing by. The items all free to help families give the gift of Christmas this year.
And if you didn't get the chance to stop by and donate today, there's still lots of time. The Socks Plus donation sites are at 2 locations. That's Common Threads Thrift Store in Fairview Park and also Good Neighbor Thrift Shop in Avon Lake. Donation drop-offs close in a little less than an hour or so at 7 p.m. tonight. Russ?
So folks still have time. All right. Carmen Blackwell in the newsroom. Thank you. Coming up tonight, holiday blues. We have important tips on how to avoid letting depression get the best of you during this time of year.
Browns fans celebrating a victory Monday after taking down division rival in Baltimore. Voice of the Browns, Jim Donovan, has more on Deshaun Watson's first win in front of the home crowd.
3 News at 6 is sponsored by Calvetta Brothers Floor Show. It's time to fall in love again with your home.
For most, the holidays are full of laughter and cheer, but not everyone feels merry and bright during this time of the year.
If the holidays are tough for you or someone you know, we have some tips on what you can do.
Our Kira Cotton reports.
The holiday season is in full swing, but if you're not feeling the most festive, don't worry, you're not alone.
We all experience it at different levels at different times of our lives.
That's Dr. Ratner, a clinical psychologist at Metro Health, who says she calls this time of year the holiday blues.
We're so expected to be joyous when really our mind and body and spirit is crying.
In February of 2021, more than 40% of adults reported symptoms of anxiety or depression. But there are things you can do to beat the holiday blues.
In order to be mentally healthy, we want to work and we want to be productive, mind, body, spirit.
So for your body,
we want to make sure that we're getting adequate sleep, that we're eating healthy, that we're exercising.
For your mind,
the mind can go into excessive worry. That's a time we need to help you to take care of your mind.
And for your spirit, Dr. Ratner says meditation is your best bet.
It's about quieting the body, quieting the mind, and tapping into a higher, wiser part of ourselves.
And when it comes to helping others, Dr. Ratner wants to remind people that they can't pour from an empty cup.
The best way you can help other people is to, first and foremost, make sure that you are taking care of all the things that are going on with you.
If you or someone you know is struggling with mental health, help is available. Don't hesitate to talk to your doctor about your options. Plus, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is available 24 hours a day. Russ and Laura.
All right, all really important information, especially during this time. Kira, thank you so much.
It is now 6:16. Betsy Kling over at the desk with us right now. Lots of information for us tonight.
Man, I have to be honest, it's hard to dial back information overload. There's so much that's going to happen this week, and there's so much that's just going to happen on Friday, but I feel like I have so much to give that I can't parse it down. So that's the challenge that I've been faced with today.
Good luck.
Yeah,
in
exactly.
just a few minutes, too. You only have a few minutes, Betsy.
Exactly. Tell us what's going on in 2 minutes or less. Well, I get a little bit more than that. But anyway, next few hours, it's fine, friends. Clouds are in play. The flurries that we've had today, they're out of here. Temperatures are going to hold in the 20s. So we are not worried about tonight. We are not worried about tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a great day for us in your National Designer hour-by-hour forecast. Upper 30s, sun peaks. It's like nothing's happening. And that's the problem, because there's so many people that are very, very busy this week, and we have all this great weather. It's late week that things really start to ramp up. So let's take a look at this big picture, and we're going to break it down for you here. The storm system is just now coming on shore on the northwestern part of our country. There's going to be a big kick of energy coming, a big push of cold air coming, and that cold air will take that storm system that is just coming on shore tonight, and through the day tomorrow, it will give it extra strength, and it will begin to propel the storm system eastward. The problem is when you get cold air that's coming in, and this is seriously cold air, it's coming fast, so there's going to be a lot of momentum that this cold air will be carrying. So we have extremely fast upper level jet speed winds that are going to inject into this extra energy. And what's going to end up happening is that is going to help this storm system strengthen very rapidly. As that rapid strengthening takes place, the winds will be picking up. So we'll see a steady increase in wind speeds Thursday. We have a very windy day coming on Friday, and that wind will be accompanied by Arctic air. So we will have a sharp temperature drop on Friday morning. That cold air then freezes everything up. So we start with rain Thursday. We've got the cold air on Friday that freezes everything up. Now you're throwing snow, and we could get bouts of heavy snow coming through that's all blowing and drifting, and those temperatures just continue to fall. Friday evening and night, I think we could actually see our highest wind gusts of this whole thing Friday evening and night. We're talking over 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts on top of all the snow that we've gotten through the day and the icing up that has taken place. Finally, the storm will begin departing on Saturday, but we still have lake effect to get through with the frigid air that is in place. And I think by Sunday, we'll see rapidly improving conditions. We are not in line to get the heaviest snow out of this. Places like Chicago, Detroit, they're going to get way more than we are. But we're not exactly going to sneeze at this. I mean, we're still talking probably 6 to 12 inches in much of northern Ohio. We'll add some extra to lake effects in the primary snow belt areas east. So it's not exactly anything to sneeze at, but we've dealt with that before. It's the combination of the cold, the wind, and that snow. That's what makes this storm different. The B word is coming. I guarantee it. The B word is going to happen, okay? Maybe not here, but this whole system is going to be producing a blizzard condition somewhere. I think we have the potential for that here. A blizzard is not dependent upon how much snow falls. It's about visibility, and it's about visibility of a quarter mile or less for 3 hours. That can happen with very heavy snow or blowing snow, and I think that's really going to be the thing for us. So the impacts, the temperature plunge, that is going to be a big deal Friday morning. The blowing and drifting snow because of the high winds, that's going to be a big deal. We're going to have a lot of power outages, everybody. At the same time, we have Arctic air moving in. That is not a good situation. And then you throw the snowfall on top of it. 6 to 12 inches in Cleveland, we get that. No worries, right? It's still going to be impactful. So just pay attention to things and just know know it's happening. And it's happening on Friday. A new Union Home Mortgage forecast. The cold, the snow, the wind, the falling temperatures. And by Saturday, I think we're going to hang out in the single digits all day with wind chills 15 to 25 below zero. It's going to be a bad day. We'll continue to watch this. We'll continue to fine tune the forecast. But for now, be ready for Friday. In the meantime, we've got sports next.
The Sports Report is sponsored by the people-pleasing people at Sarah Auto Park in Akron.
Hi, everybody. The Browns on a short week. It's another Saturday game as the Browns get set to take on the New Orleans Saints, final home game of the season. Deshaun Watson continues to get better and better and better, and I thought he was very good Saturday in the win over the Ravens. You know what I thought he did very well? He really handled the team so well coming down the stretch, protecting that lead, using the game clock. That's the sign of a real veteran quarterback. So we'll end this season, and I don't think we'll be saying, hey, we got to find a quarterback. This is the guy.
Oh, definitely. We can compete with the best. You know, it don't matter who we play each and every week. We have the opportunity to go out there and compete and go out there and win. Of course, we want to score more points. Of course, we want to have the highlights, but that's going to come. You know, we do the little things, especially for December football. December football is tough. Every game that you watch is going to come down to the very, very end.
Amazing performance by the Browns defense, really, on Saturday to hold the Ravens to just 3 points. That says something. Denzel Ward with the play of the game defensively, stealing that ball away at the 10-yard line with the Ravens going in for a would-be go-ahead touchdown in the game. They also came up with a fumble recovery, too. You know what? They're playing very well right now. If they had only played this way earlier in the year.
Can't think like that. I don't think it could have been ifs or buts. You know, at the end of the day, we are where we are, and you know we still got a chance. Just got control what we can control, and we beat the Ravens, and we gotta worry about next week. Just go 1-0.
And next week is coming, Saturday afternoon. It's the New Orleans Saints. Kickoff is at 1 o'clock. New Orleans 5-9 on the year. They lost to Atlanta yesterday, 21-18. Big night for the Cavs tonight, and specifically Donovan Mitchell. His old team is in town. The Utah Jazz come into the field house. And how about Donovan Mitchell? He was named the NBA's Eastern Conference Player of the Week for last week. He averaged 32 points per game. He is really playing well. Cavs are 20-11, and the Jazz are 17-15. Big congratulations going out to Ted Ginn Sr. I mean, what a couple of weeks for him. He wins the state championship, the Tar Brothers, first time they've won it. Big congratulations to him for that. But now he will get the Lifetime Achievement Award at the Greater Cleveland Sports Awards coming up on January 25th downtown. That will be a great, great night for him. And it's always a great night anyway. And that's sports.
A wonderful guy. Certainly.
Great job.
Well deserved.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, Jimmy. Going back to work now, Betsy? More to do?
Yeah, just over there,
Looking at the models.
Painting my nails, fixing my hair,
She was doing none of that. She's hard at work, sweating, the whole thing. Thank you for watching. Jimmy and Lena back at 7 o'clock for Front Row.
The NBC Nightly News is just minutes away. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night. We'll see you at 11.